Alright, so hopefully you've watched part 1 of the Ultimate Beach Cart Build Prototype. If you haven't, you can click on it right here and you'll be able to watch that before you get this one. So in part 1 we did the wheels. Part 2 is going to be about getting the handle, at least the initial handle that we're going to use on this thing done. So keep watching and you'll see how we get a handle together for this, and we'll let you know how this works when we do beach trials. Let's start building the handle and the frame to get this car going. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. The first thing I did was I took a 2-inch to 1.5-inch reduction T and cut a big hole in it. And I'll show you how this fits into the overall scheme of things. But I've got 2 of them, so I've got to match this one. I've already tested this one, works perfectly. I've got to do the same thing with this other guy, and I'm going to do it on this bandsaw. Well, we've got 2 pieces that are almost identical. Let's see how these work, and I'll explain exactly what I'm doing here. Alright, so the whole idea is to get these pieces to snap onto this frame. That's the strongest part in this entire assembly. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be snapping them on here in this direction. As weight goes up on the handle, should pull up against this. And I'm going to do a reduction here to 1 inch, and we'll build a handle out of 1-inch PVC. So let me go ahead and get these on here, and I've got an interesting technique to do that, which is using this long piece of 1-inch PVC to get away. There we go. Snaps on. And that's pretty sturdy. Now we can get the other one on. And it snaps right on there. Doesn't look that great. You can see they're kind of expanded, but the whole point is that they're going to hold that bar, and when I put the adapters on there, they're going to give it a good lifting point, so that whether you're pushing or lifting and pulling, it doesn't matter. They've got something solid to rest against. Alright, let's get rid of this 1.5 inches. It served its purpose. Next step is going to be to get these 1.5 inch bushings in here. I've got all-in-one clear medium PVC cement, the fusion stuff. It's clear. I don't like purple stuff hanging everywhere, especially on something like this that's a little bit visible. So I'm going to get both of these prepped. And tap these 1-inch bushings into there. Now I'll get these centered to where I want them to be once we get the handle built. So let me get some pieces of 1-inch PVC and show you what the next steps are going to be. Alright, fun part number 2. I've actually cut these so that they extend a little further, and I'm going to trim them to fit exactly so that when we put a T on here, they're going to be flush. So let me get these connected. Alright, so now comes the fun part. I'm going to put a T on here, facing straight up and down. The bottom half of the T will be the stand where it'll sit level. Top half will be the handle. So I need to do some really careful measuring because I want this cart to sit level when it's sitting on the ground. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to cut these back. I basically want this to sit flush, like so, as much as possible. Alright, we're going to do our best not to mar the aluminum. Scratched it a little bit.
That's fine.
Alright. I'm going to leave this out because we're going to use this some more. It's filming.
Yeah, it's been filming.
Alright, I'm just going to dry fit everything. Alright, so in order to keep these lined up now, This is where the center to center measurement came in. Just double check, 9 7/8. 9 7/8. Alright, so I'm going to turn these sideways temporarily. And 9 7/8, these are actually from center to the edge 1.5 inches, and there's 1 inch of slip in there. So we should be able to, and I think that's perfect. Measure it and see. What I did is I cut 1 inch off to allow for that 1/2 inch on either side. And that should give me 9 7/8. And it's actually a little bit more, but I'm not too concerned with that right now. I think when we put some glue on it and bang it a little bit, it'll be fine. So I'm going to cut 2 more pieces like this, because this is going to end up being the width of the handle. And we'll start building this out. Alright, before I go any further, what I have to figure out now is how big does the stand have to be. And this is 12.5 inches. So I need 12.5 inches from the frame to this bottom section. And these are not going to be, I just put these in here for right now, but let's see where we're at. We're at 11. Actually, not 8 7/8 might be the magic number for the whole thing. This might actually work, that 8 7/8. If you're doing this, you can probably do 9 inches and it'll be fine. But I'm going to take this down and see how it sits. Can you give me a hand, Joe? Well, 8 7/8 is the magic number. Actually, if I had thought this out, I would have knocked those center pieces out a little bit more and just made it 9 inches. But, you know, I'm working with 8 7/8, so I'm going to continue doing that. I've got 2 more pieces I got to cut. And then we can dry fit this and put it all together. We're going to leave it just like it is right now. And go forward. Alright, next piece. 8 7/8, magic number. 2 more T's. This is more for rigidity than anything else. I'm dry fitting everything for right now. Now the question is, how high do we need this to be comfortable with the handle? I'm going to say it's about this high. Alright, so again, I'm dry fitting. I've got 8 7/8, 2 6-inch pieces, 2 right angles and 2 45-degree angles. And what this is going to do, it's going to sit here, and what we need to determine is what height it needs to sit at to make it comfortable to lift up and push or pull. Alright, so we ended up cutting 2 of these to 6 inches. Again, we're dry fitting everything, so I won't try to really pick up the cart and move it, but I think we're good. So now comes the fun part. Let's glue it all together. Alright, happy glue time. Let's get this together. I'm going to do this section first because that will square everything after it. Getting the glue away from the work area, because otherwise I would knock right into it, almost guarantee. Glue's funny, it was sliding right back out. I might give it a minute to set. Alright, I'm going to get this bottom, and again, this is going to help square everything up as well. Now, one of the things I'm going to have to do is pretty much get everything wet and work fast.
Really squirted.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to let that dry a little bit. Flip it around and get the other side. Now to glue this section. I'm doing it a section at a time, and I'm keeping a T on it just so that it keeps everything squared up. So I'm just going to glue the bottom part now. Then I'll glue this. Then I'll glue the side piece. don't even know if you have to glue both sides of these, because I'm bad about reading instructions. But being that it's supposed to be a primer too, I figure it can't hurt. Bring the rag out here because I got some glue, extra glue I want to wipe off. This is what happens with my old t-shirts when they get crap all over them and they become shop rags. And I go through a lot of them. Might do a video on that. Yeah. Let's let it set, let it dry, and we'll give it a test run. Grab me that rag, please. Alright, for some additional stability, I'm going to put some U-bolts right through the top where the frame is thick. And basically just clamp the PVC to the frame. And I think that'll give it a little bit more stability. Now I'm going to angle this out just a little bit because those U-bolts are kind of flared. All right, let's take it down.
Oh, look, again. I got this side.
Joey, sit in it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't know if I trust that.
Well, if it doesn't hold you, it's not gonna hold. Joey's like, uh-oh. I'm rolling Joey around the yard, man. All right, so one of the things we noticed when we were pushing each other around the yard with this thing is that this this bar right here was flexing in and out, so it's kind of a weak point. Now, I've got some C-channel that's left over from another project, which, believe it or not, just fits perfectly over that. I did get that at HD, 1/8 inch thick, 1/2 by 1 by 36 inches. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, put the bolts through it, of course, bolt it in place, and hopefully that'll stiffen it up enough where we don't have to worry about this thing collapsing on us. I'm overlapping the plastic by about 1/8 of an inch. Let's go get this cut and bore out some holes for it. These two holes I'm actually going to use a mill and mill out a slot because these things are kind of a pain in the butt. Alright, so we've got the bar cut to size. We've got the holes drilled in the correct positions. Plus we've drilled 3 additional holes that'll go on the bracket. Let me show you where this is going to go. So make sure we get this right. That should be lined up correctly. Let's get these off. I'm going to go ahead and put the bracket on. And what I've done is I've also drilled these holes through this cross piece as well as through the bracket to reinforce the whole thing and hold the bracket tight to this so it doesn't bend. One interesting point is that where I put this bolt in there, this stainless steel bolt that replaced the rivet, it's actually going through this corner bracket. And the whole idea is that not only will this bar stiffen it up, but replacing all of these with stainless bolts rather than rivets is going to make the whole assembly a lot stronger. And I did that all the way around on the corners, on the outside corners at least. All right, so that does it for building the handle. I hope this has been helpful to you. This handle, we'll try it out. When we go to beach trials, we'll see how it works. If don't, we'll do something different. But if you like this video, hit share and like. And definitely don't forget to subscribe. Hit that button right there. Oh, and please stay tuned for part 3. When it comes up, I'll put it right here so you can link on it. Thanks for watching.